In this hour, it is us having this conversation with you. We're having this discussion on Dear Mr. President on the state of Kenyan politics. Early in the morning, we had a discussion with Kabando, just setting pace on where we were and where we are at the moment as a country. Barack Muluka has painted the situation on the current political situation, the state of political situation in the country, and what that means to us, because Barack Muluka has said the country is a ticking time bomb, that we all need to take responsibility. But in all this, Wananchi have a stake in it.
Yeah.
What is their position? What is their say on what it is that is happening in the country? Because when you look at what was happening in Olkalau, Wananchi were there. It is them that were being addressed. One would want to confuse that was a political battle between two people. But the people who were there listening to what was happening, Wananchi. You go to Senator Osotsi and him being attacked the way that was. The public consumed that information. In all these rallies, whether it is Linda Mwananchi or that you're seeing tear gas being thrown, it is Wananchi who attend these rallies. When you talk about what happened in Kikuyu, again, it is Wananchi, Kenyans who are accessing roads, who are using that space that found themselves in the middle of that thick. Therefore, Wananchi today, this morning, when you look at the current ongoings within the political circle, what is your position? What is your say in all these? This is an opportunity for you to talk to us. The number to call is 0732-142-653 or 0732-142-650. 0732-142-653 or 0732-142-650. Talk to us. Tell us what the situation where the country finds itself politically speaking means to you, and what you want to see change as the country gets itself in a political period in the country. Again, the number to call is 0732-142-653 or 0732-142-650. Sido.
Oh, precisely. And indeed, the citizens play a very critical role. And as I always say, this thing we call sovereignty, and that it is surrendered or exerted directly, it is true that you can surrender it by voting for somebody to run for office, so that you yourself can actually run for office and get elected if the people that you wish to represent actually love you and believe that the things that you are saying are going to be done by yourself. But then the question that begs is a kind of context that we find ourselves in the moment you have already voted.
Let me get this line.
Yes.
Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from? And what's your position on the ongoing situation in the country? The caller the callers just dropped. But like you're saying, Osido, yes, the Wananchi have a role and a stake in what is happening. Yeah?
And that once you vote, you don't go home and sleep. You have to continuously hold these leaders accountable. Yes.
Good morning, Nyakio. How are you? Where are you calling us from? And what's your position on what is happening politically in the country?
Hi, good morning. How are you doing today?
Salama-san, how are you?
I'm calling from... Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm calling from Nairobi, and I'll keep my response short and sweet as always. I mean, I'm very disappointed, absolutely disappointed the way things are going. I mean, if before the 24th of June, the Gen Z demonstrations, I had never been on the streets. But I'll tell you what, if another demonstration is called today, I will absolutely go to the streets, because, we're getting to the level where the office of the president has sunk so low. There's no inspiration of hope. We are talking about exaggerated budgets. Everything is just ridiculous. So, dear Mr. President, just leave us alone. Utoke kwa hiyo ofisi, sisi tuendelee na mambo yetu. Thank you and have a good day.
Have a good one, Nyakio. Asante sana. Good morning. How are you and where are you calling us from?
Absolutely.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. My name is Erickson. I'm calling from Nairobi.
Yes.
So I'm a young person in this country, and what I want to say is that the political direction we are taking is very toxic, and it is a responsibility upon us as the population and the leaders to be responsible on the way forward, because if we go on the way we are going on, 2027 will make 2007 look like Christmas. Let me just break it down in 1 second. For instance, I'm seeing that the tribal bigotry and conglomerations are coming together. As young people, I think we have the responsibility to make sure that Nikokadi makes sense, and we have to also associate ourselves with like-minded ideological political parties to make a difference. Because folding our hands and being fence-sitters, curious onlookers on the fence, will not work. We need to get involved and correct this older generation from inside. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Erickson there. Just giving his views on the same. Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from? And what's your position on the ongoing situation in the country?
Good morning, Joe. I'm Brian Barasa.
Hi, Brian.
I'm good, and I'm calling from Kisumu, though I reside, I was born in Western. So, generally talking about Kenya and its politics, sometimes we find ourselves trying to cry, and yet we cannot even cry because the things supposed to make us cry are funny, and the things that are supposed to make us laugh, they are the worst. Now, there's a music artist, Roma Mkatoliki. In his song, Nipeni Maua Yangu, once said, mtawala simwamini na mpinzani simsadiki kwa sababu anaendelea kukatika huku DJ kauzima muziki. Kenyan politics. Kenyan politics. We have the two sides, the governing side and the opposition. There's the thing that we always say, show me your friend, I tell you who you are, and so on and so on. There are those people who don't want to support the President Ruto, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, there comes the problem. You don't want to support the government in the next coming election. So who are you going to support? Maybe the opposition. And then when you turn your eye to the opposition side, you find that the person who was maybe the loudest voice in that opposition is a former friend of the person whom you cannot support. Will you go and vote?
And those are the questions, pertinent questions there. Asante sana. Let's take calls from others. And those are the questions that our Nanchi are asking. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from? And what's your position on the ongoing political situation in the country?
Good morning, Mr. Seto, and it's my pleasure again to have a chance. My name is Luceno. I'm calling from Kakamega.
Hi, Luceno.
I'm fine, thanks. Now, I think the situation we're having in the country is truly very, very absurd and very disheartening. But as it were, the president cannot avoid responsibility because in public leadership and public policy, everything rises and falls at the leadership. Kenya has gotten to a place where the president is a desperate person who has forgotten that he's a public officer who has been employed by Kenyans, and he has to do the work that he was supposed to do. Now he thinks holding office is the whole reason he was elected. Because if Kenyans can feel they are getting value from his leadership, he does not have to keep pulling people to State House every day using their tax money to keep bribing them. He should only do what Kenyans employed him to do. And then he leaves the verdict with Kenyans. He has gotten to a place where he's hurting Kenyans because he thinks his personal ego and ambition is greater than the bigger good for the country. I think it's so unfortunate that we have a constitution that does not give Kenyans the chance to actually pull this person out of office. And I think that's the conversation Kenyans must seriously focus on. When you get a person like Trump, who is drawing the whole country into a mess, how do you get rid of this person? Because why should a president day in, day out, 24/7, be engaged in how he can remain in power? And then he does not even use civil ways. using goons for sure is not one of the ways that anybody can indicate to anybody that he enjoys popular mandate and confidence. Because the security agencies are under the executive. And if they are failing, the president should be courageous to remove all of them and hire people who are ready to serve the country and not use the goons to weaponize them against fellow Kenyans using money that Kenyans were supposed to be that should be used to build Kenya, to develop Kenya into a competitive economy, but instead he's using that money to suppress any opposition and kill the most enterprising people who try to rise up and stand against his failed political leadership. I am very disappointed as a Kenyan. I voted for this president. I campaigned for this president. And I thought he was a person who could give Kenya a real face, a real lift-off. But he has failed us terribly. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much, Luceno. They are calling us from Kakamega, giving us his position on the same. As well as if you go to on our YouTube as well, there is a poll that is ongoing. And who is responsible for the current political events in the country? Go there, give your answer, and you shall be taking the poll on the same. Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from? And what's your position on the same? Also, please lower the volume on your radio so that we are able to understand each other. Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from? And what's your position with regard to the ongoing political situation in the country?
Hello.
Hello, hi.
Mimi naitwa Steven Omondi, napiga kutoka Mombasa.
Yes, Steven.
Unanipata?
Nakupata, Steven.
Mimi upande wa kwangu naweza sema hivi. Hii sasa huu mwaka ambao umebakia huu, hakuna maendeleo tutapata. Ni siasa ndio imebakia. Kwa sababu mahali tumefikia saa hii, tunasema kuna kitu kitaendelea mbele. Kile kimebakia ni siasa, kila mtu atafute ile ataingia kwa uongozi. Mahali imefikia, Ruto lazima angangane apate vile atashinda. Na huku wapinzani nao wanasema ni one term. Sasa hapo ndio kuna kisungumkuti. Ikiwa Ruto alikuwa vice president na Uhuru alikuwa na kila chochote alikuwa nacho, na hakuweza kufanya Ruto akashindwa. Hakuweza kumuingiza Raila. Na sasa Ruto ni president. Hebu niambie nani atamtoa pale kwa ile kiti. Pale ni ngumu. Kwa hiyo Ruto lazima afanye bidii aingie, lazima aritae kama president wengine. Kwa hiyo president hata sasa wajaribu kufanya lolote, ni ngumu kumtoa pale Ruto. Hata kama ni kwa nini, hata kama ni kwa vita, Ruto lazima ataingia. Kwa hiyo pale wapinzani, kile ningesema wajipange, Ruto amalize miaka yake 10. Wajipange baada Ruto kumaliza miaka yake 10 ndio wanaweza kujaribu kuingia, lakini sasa wakisema tu wanaingia haiwezekani.
Hivi unasema wananchi hawana semi lolote hata kama wana kura za kumtoa rais?
Unajua Kenya wananchi wao wanapiga kura ndio, lakini uchaguzi wao maamuzi ya kura kwa ishafanya kitambo.
Na nani?
Unajua sisi tunapiga kura, lakini wenye nchi walishaamua nani atakuwa rais.
Wenye nchi ni wananchi, lakini kwa sababu ni wananchi ambao wanaipa serikali nguvu za kufanya kazi. Hivi basi wananchi wakipiga kura na waamue kuwa rais anaenda nyumbani, rais hana budi ila kwenda nyumbani.
Mimi nitaamka asubuhi kweli niende nipige kura kawaida. Mimi kama moyo hai nitaenda nipige kura asubuhi, nirudi kwa nyumba. Kile kitabakia ni wenye kuhesabu kura ndio watabakia. Mimi sitakuwa kule kuhesabu kura.
Hivi basi wewe wasema kuwa huna imani na IEBC?
IEBC niko nayo imani kwa sababu nitaenda nipige kura. Lakini baada ya kupiga kura, mimi nitangojea matokeo, nitakaa kwangu ningojee matokeo. Mimi nitaangalia kwa TV au nitasikia kwa radio. Kwa sababu mimi si kwenda shule, sitajua kumeendelea. Hata kisema matokeo yamebadilishwa, nani atajua? Mimi bora nipate matokeo ambayo vile kujia. Hata wakisema Uhuru kwa ni Ruto yuko mbele au Matiang'i yuko mbele au nani yuko mbele, mimi nitasema tu ni sawa.
All right, asante sana, acha tukawasikiliza wananchi wengine. Good morning, how are you? Where are you calling us from? And what's your position on the ongoing situation in the country?
I'm back. I'm Brian. I just wanted to clarify something small.
Yes, Brian.
But before I clarify it, I want to support my colleague who just previously called in. Hata kama ni wewe, ndio tunashindana na wewe. Alafu wewe ndo unafaa kuchagua ni nani ambaye ataamua mshinde kati yetu ni nani. Unadhani nitakuwa na imani na anayesimamia hayo mashindano kwa sababu ni wewe ndo umemchagua? Someone somewhere once said that the political leaders, particularly the presidents in Kenya, they are nominated, not elected. And if they are elected, they are only elected by the few people, and they are elected sometimes 5 years back before even the election itself. What I wanted to clarify, it's about SHA, the people who are going around praising the president that SHA is going on well and it's working, so people should not be worried. I had my sister, our firstborn sister, Veronica, she was sick last year, August. So she was taken to the hospital, and they said that her SHA is not working, so she'll be having to pay it in cash. And then we asked around, we asked whether we can use her husband's SHA account to take on her bills. They said, yeah, it's true, it's okay. But only if the husband pays the amount, the whole amount that is required per year. And it was not actually that much, it was only 7K. So it was 7,200 actually. So they paid the SHA amount, and when the bill came, the hospital's authority said that the total amount my sister should be paying is it was to be 31,000, and because there is SHA will be paying only the bills for the kitanda. Italipia tu kitanda peke yake.
So in short, what you're saying is that SHA is not working for you.
It's working because it paid my sister 6,000, and 25,000 was to be paid in cash.
Okay.
So whether it's working or not, it's up to the other citizens. But as per for me, it's not working.
Okay, Asante sana. Let's listen to other Kenyans who are calling in, and as well, just listen to what others are saying. Osido, it is crazy, but let's just listen to what this caller is saying. Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from, and what's your position on the ongoing political situation in the country? As well, please lower the volume on your radio or television so that you're able to understand each other.
Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from, and what's your position on the ongoing political situation in the country as well?
Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from, and what's your position with regard to the ongoing political situation in the country? Good morning. Hello. Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from, and what's your position with the ongoing political situation in the country? Who's responsible?
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Nicholas. Hello.
Yes, Nicholas, we can hear you. Yes, please proceed.
Okay, my take is I wonder who we can elect as a president, because if you look at the lineup.
Yes. Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from, and what's your position with the ongoing political situation?
Yes, my name is Andai Omwakwe. I'm calling from Vihiga.
Yes, Andai from Vihiga. What's your position with the ongoing political situation?
Yeah, so what is happening right now in the country, it is so absurd. The issue of Goonism might not really take this country far, because if you look keenly, is that these goons are sponsored, and if you look at the CS, if you look at him properly, you can see his body language. These goons are being sponsored by the government. You don't need any rocket science to know that they are being sponsored by the government, because Mr. Seto, if you look at all the rallies of the opposition, they are interfered with. But if you look at the rallies that are being done by the government, there is no interference. And this issue, this narrative that the government is coming up with, that these people are the goons are being, the opposition is sponsoring the goons to destroy, to interrupt their own meetings. Really? To interrupt their own meetings and everywhere, every time? It is not correct what the government is doing. And Mr. Seto, let me be very categorical here. The writing is on the wall. This government, the truth is, it is going home. That is a fact. There is no question about it. And there is somebody who has just talked there and said that the decision has already been made. No, the decision will be made by the people. And even IBC will have no option. They will have to announce the really person who won. Look at the last election. I strongly believe that Ruto won, even if it was by 200,000 votes. But the mistake was for the opposition. How do you leave polling stations without agents? Without agents. That is how Ruto came into power. But for now, the truth of the matter, Mr. Seto and Mr. Sido,
yes.
The truth of the matter is this government, for sure, the writing is on the wall, and they are panicked.
Yes, and I.
Yes, but Mr. Seto, there is something I told you to do for me, and you have not done it. I really want to see DCP. I want to introduce it in Bunyore. It is not there.
Mr. Andai Wamisikia will make sure that they get in touch and they come to Bunyore. Asante sana, let's listen in to other callers who are calling in and listen to them as well. Good morning, how are you? Where are you calling us from, and what's your position with regard to the ongoing political situation in the country?
Good morning to you, Mr. Dennis.
Hi.
I am Karaja Waweru from Bahati, Nakuru.
Yes, Karaja.
And I would like to say this. First, I would like to give hope to some callers who have been saying they have lost hope and Ruto will win because he's the president. May I remind them that Uhuru never interfered with elections. The by-elections that were done in Nyandarua and in his home area of Kiambu, when they were competing between UDA and Jubilee. Number two, Ruto is a first-timer in so many things. He broke history by becoming the first person to attempt the presidency and won. So there is also the possibility that he will make another history by becoming the first president to go for one term. Why do I say so? Ruto has failed all the expectations Kenyans expected of him. He said, tutawaweka pesa mfukoni, and instead of that, he's doing the opposite. I will not impeach my deputy. I will not do bad things to my deputy. He has done the opposite. I will not send policemen to harass wananchi and so on. I will not demolish businesses, houses, and so on without a plan. But he has always been doing the opposite. This one tells us that my expectations and what I really would like to say is this. He has no tolerance for other people apart from himself. And if you look at the goons who are doing the things that are being done, if they were not government goons, these people would be under jail. But now they are not there. So what do I finish with? I'll finish by saying, with God, everything is possible. Ruto has annoyed all people across the board, even his own people from the Nandi County or even Kericho. Therefore, I believe when Kenyans will be angry enough, they will be able to remove him. No matter how hard he tries to rig the elections, no matter how hard he uses the police and other state agents to try and rig their elections.
Asante
God
sana.
is on the side of Kenyans.
Asante sana, Karanja. Let's listen to others as well who are calling in. Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from? And what's your position on the state of Kenyan politics today? Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from? And what is your position on the state of Kenyan politics today? Where are you calling us from?
Hi, good morning, Dennis. I'm calling from Dubai.
Yes.
This is Jimmy here.
Yes, Jimmy.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Yourself, how is the Middle East?
I'm very fine. We are very fine, and we thank God for everything.
All right. What's your position on Kenyan politics today?
The position on the Kenyan politics, we normally say we are heading in the wrong direction. And yes, we are. You can see how the State House has been transformed to a house of, I can call it house of evils, because that is, bribery is evil. This is also in the Bible.
Yes.
And you can see, and I had you during your interviews blaming JM, John Medu, because of telling the president as it is. If that was the only platform that John Medu could have informed the president that whatever you promised my people, you haven't delivered, and yet you are here and telling them again, despite all those that I had promised you, I'm even promising you more, a university and other roads, which are not in the budget. That is adding salt into injuries, So John Medu was very right and very correct. And another thing, the Haiti, that is where we are headed to, instead of heading to Singapore, as the president is telling us. Doonism. I was watching Ototi being attacked. Ototi was not holding any rally. He was in his private life, having coffee. If that can happen to a person with 2 bodyguards, what about me and you?
Those are the questions.
What about me and you? Yeah. So alafu nitamkosoa huyo wa Mombasa anasema sijui Kenyatta had all the apparatus, government apparatus, and he could have won the election, 2022 elections. Umoja ni nguvu, udhaifu ni utengano. And that is how, if tukitengana hivi vile watu wanasema ati Gachagua sijui nini, Gachagua ni mbaya, sijui we are electing again Ruto's friends. No. If you have an enemy you are chasing, even your greatest enemy will help you to chase the enemy.
Asante sana. Let's listen to other callers who are on the line as well. Asante sana for your views. Good morning. How are you and where are you calling us from?
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
This is Bishop Jonas Simon.
Yes.
And I've seen the phone number on the screen.
Yes. What's your position on the state of Kenyan politics?
The president has done a lot of things against Kenyans, and the thing is we are all saying one time, because I don't think that what he has done is right. And for sure, if you look at the Gen Z uprising and the way she said that he will shoot them on their head to maim them, That was not president's kind of a statement. It is not a presidential statement, and therefore we feel that he has failed. He has done a very promiscuous or promiscuity kind of a sin that should not have happened in Kenya. And we are very ashamed that we have this kind of president in Kenya.
Asante sana. Let's listen into other Kenyans who are on the line. Good morning. How are you? How are you calling us from? And what's your position on the state of Kenyan politics today?
Morning. I'm calling from Kitale.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Nashukuru.
It's very unfortunate that in today's Kenya, whatever is happening under the watch of the President Ruto about the hired goons. You know, sometimes back when I heard about goons, I thought that they are not human beings. But I'm just wondering to see people, especially what happened along the southern bypass.
Yes.
The government has all the machineries, all the military that could go to the southern bypass and catch those goons. Why is the president watching? Why is the Minister of Interior, Murkomen? I just don't know what to say. I'm very hurt by this government. The government that came in power through the church. What is the president doing to the people? I'm just so sad. I'm sad about this government. May God intervene.
Polisana, and those are the questions Kenyans are expressing themselves. Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from? And what's your position on the status of Kenyan politics?
Salama sana. Naitwa Joel kutoka Kericho.
Yes, Joel, habari yako?
Salama sana mkuu, uko aje?
Salama.
Unajua ile kitu iko ni hawa ndio siasa wote wa both sides, both government and the opposition. Maana sasa serikali ikianza kupiga au watasema tena ati serikali imeanza kupiga watu. Unaona? Na pia makanisa pia wamechangia. Unapata maaskofu wanapatia nafasi mwanasiasa anaongea mambo ambayo isa. Ile kitu au mapisho wa makanisa nao wafanye. Wanasiasa wakiingia kwa kanisa, waachie tu wawezi. Watemta mchambo na wakae chini. Pisho waendelee na samu. Mtu anataka kupiga siasa, atafute kiwanja, apeleke watu wake huko. Na president atoke nje, waambie watu mambo ya kampeni bado. Nafikiri hapo itakuwa sawa.
Asante sana, Joel from Kericho there calling us. Good morning. How are you? And what's the situation? Kenosido, you have a question?
Hello. Mimi naitwa Michael Ngala kutoka Malindi.
Yes, Michael.
Sasa ninafuatilia hicho kipindi kwa hiyo TV, nikiangalia na kusikiza hizo hali zile zilivyo. Mimi ningeomba tafadhali, hawa wanasiasa wote ni sawa, kwa sababu kama ni kitu yeye akiguswa ni shida, akiguswa mwananchi wa kawaida kama mimi hata hutasikia akisikizwa. Lakini mimi ningeomba hivi, kama wewe unajua ni mwanasiasa na unajua ukweli kabisa na sheria unazijua, ni kwa
that phone call seems to have dropped. Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from? What's your position on the state of Kenyan politics?
Naitwa Godwin.
Yes, Godwin.
Nakupigia kutoka Kitale.
Yes.
Mimi maoni yangu. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Please proceed.
Yes, maoni yangu. Ninaomba President Ruto pamoja na deputy wake.
Yes.
Warudi kwa ofisi.
All right.
Wafanye kazi ambazo sisi tuliwaajiri kufanya.
All right. Asante sana, Godwin there as well, just sharing his position, requesting both the president and deputy to go back to the office and do the job that they were asked to do. Briefly, Osido, a lot of Kenyans are speaking here, yeah?
This to our president, who indicated that he is a consumer of raw intelligence, really needs to speak a lot, because if we have as many as, the callers from Nairobi all the way to, Kilifi, to Kericho, to Kitale, and they are like, we are not happy. And some of them are even confiding and saying, we voted for this government. Yeah. We voted for President William Ruto, and what we are seeing is not what we expected. Really should be a rallying call to the president to reconsider his ways and get back to, that wall where we normally say you get into a small room and you lock yourself and you ask yourself very difficult, critical questions. The sad thing that happens, of course, in this political space is that sometimes when you see crowds of people out there, and from what we know and we've been told by some of the players here in this room, that some of these crowds are organized crowds. They are curated. They are people who are mobilized and treated.
They're not organic.
To sing the tunes of those who have mobilized them. Then the question that begs is, when ultimately we go out there and vote, how do we protect our vote? And the gentleman from Kilifi was even saying, mimi nitapiga kura na nirudi nyumbani, lakini
najua imepangwa.
Where is the guarantee that my vote will carry the way? And that is a call that our young people now need to come through and help in terms of strengthening accountability and even the system that IEBC has. And I know that this was also one of the questions that most of the commissioners were asked during the vetting session. How do we, safeguard the system that we are using so that it is not hackable, so that nobody can be able to hack it? And I know that should be done.
Let's take this call. Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from? And what's your position on the state of Kenya's politics?
Hello, I'm Kipto.
Hi, Kipto.
From Eldoret. Yes. What I have noted, ile maandamano yote ile opposition tumeona kitambo ile ya Raila, ile kina Kalonzo, ilikuwa violent. Protest inakuwa peaceful. Na serikali inafanya maandamano ikuwe violent.
All right.
Ilikuwa Kikuyu, hiyo maandamano, the meeting was okay. It was peaceful. Lakini serikali haitaki ikuwe peaceful, inataka ikuwe violent, ndio waleta askari ifuruke watu wasiongee. Thank you.
Asante sana there. Good morning. How are you and where are you calling us from? What's your status? What's your position on the status of Kenyan politics?
My name is Charles.
Sorry?
My name is Charles.
Yes.
I'm calling from Nakuru.
All right.
I'm watching you seriously on Mr. President. My thing is,
yes,
Bulletin in 2007 started like this. And if it is not going to be controlled, it is going to be worse next year. So we had the interior CS, be very strict and be vigilant. Make sure that bulletin is stopped with an immediate effect, so that we don't want to see bloodshed. We don't want to see what happened in 2007. And many people died, many people are misplaced, and it is started like this. So we had people maybe to stop completely the campaign. That word will come direct from the president. But things are not going to be good.
Asante sana. Let's listen into other Kenyans who are calling in. Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from? What's your name and what's your position on status of Kenya's politics? Hello, good morning. Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. I'm calling from Machakos.
Okay.
Yeah, I thank God for today.
Yes, what's your position?
The discussion that is ongoing.
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please proceed. Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from? And what's your position on the status of Kenya's politics?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you, Ken and Dennis.
Yes.
My name is George, calling from Nairobi.
All right, George, please proceed.
Yes, I would like to address the president that we elected him and gave him all the powers to take control of the country. Tulimpea mamlaka yote ambayo yanahitajika kama president. Sasa kazi yake, mambo ambayo yanaendelea katika nchi hayafurahishi. Tukija upande wa security, is the in charge. Na kwa wakati huu ukiangalia hali vile ilivyo, ikiwa jambo la gunzi linafanyika, na wao wanarudi kuja kutulalimikia sisi wananchi kwamba sijui nini. Hawahitaji kuja katika public address kama CS wa security kuanza kutuambia sijui nini. Ni kazi yao, badala ya kuja kwa mikutano ya hadhara, wao waende wafanye kazi yao, waende kwa ofisi wa delegate duties, watu wafanye kazi yao. President amekuwa CEO, general manager, supervisor wa kila kitu. He has the ministers, he has all the structure. A delegate duties, watu wafanye kazi, vitu zionekane, mambo yaonekane. Ukiangalia wakati wa Kibaki hakuzurura hapa na pale. A delegate duties, ministers wake wakafanya kazi kama vile inavyohitajika, na ndio sababu kazi yake ilionekana. So bwana president asivieke kwa umma kujibizana na opposition, watu wadogo, mambo madogo anajidunisha kujipeleka chini. Kama anahitaji ama kama anania ya kuwa president tena, ama watu wampe nafasi nyingine, ni akae chini kama vile bwana Barack Mluka alivyokuwa akiongea pale, asikize, aache kujifanyia uamuzi kwa mambo mengine ambayo anahitaji pia kusikiza watu wengine wakimshauri. Asante sana bwana Dennis.
Thank you very much. Let's listen in to other Kenyans as well. Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from? And what's your position on the status of Kenyan politics today?
Hello?
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Yes, my name is Dr. Ada Tatu.
Hi, Daktari.
Yeah, I'm a counseling medical doctor and holistic well-being coach.
Yes, Daktari.
Now, this is very close to my heart because I'm a mental health professional, and we've been discussing the situation of the state of mental health of our president. Actually, most of them have what they call Subaruphobia. They said they don't want to come forward, then they don't want to make a statement. But I am here to tell you that he is very ill, and he is not fit to run the country. If you check the Hare's psychopathy checklist, all of them, he ticks them off. Yeah, and I come from a family of freedom fighters who suffered blood, sweat, and tears for this country. I'm a child of the 1960s and 1970s. I saw the potential of this country and the way it was so beautiful. And you see, everything has the definition of health is the complete mental, physical, spiritual, family, and environmental health of a person, and not just the absence of infirmity. If you check in John 10:10, the enemy has come to steal, kill, and to destroy. And everything that the president has done is to steal, to kill, and to destroy from Kenyans and to destroy this country. I have an aunt who's about 90 years old. Every time I go to visit her, she tells me, when I ask her, how are you doing? She said, Kiruto, these are people who grew up and they actually saw the flag being lifted on the day of independence, and they've seen the country going down. And all they can do is say, Ni Ruto, the country has changed and we can't survive. Healthcare, education, everything. So he belongs to the dark tetrad. And I'm here saying it. I don't have Subaruphobia. You're my witness if I'm picked up. Yeah, the Hare's psychopathy checklist, you can actually check it out. The superficial charm, the pathological lying. Actually, two of the ways you can tell somebody has a demonic infestation is pathological lying, and everything that they touch, they destroy. To steal, to kill, and to destroy.
All right.
So I just want to say, thank you.
Asante son. Let's listen into other Kenyans as well who are on the line. Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from? And what's your position? What are you saying about Kenya's political status?
Hello, Danny.
Also, please reduce the volume on your radio television so that we can understand each other.
Hello, Danny. Thank you very much again. This is Luceno from Kakamega. Kindly allow me to make a contribution. I had already done something, but I will want to discuss two other issues.
All right.
Now, there is the issue of early campaigns.
Yes.
Early campaigns have no problem in Kenya because the president himself has demonstrated he campaigned for 10 years. But because the head of state then understood what public policy and democracy means, he did not interfere with him. And he didn't have goons going after him. So this is truly so wrong for people to think that you can, measure the air you give to people when they are doing. Particularly, it takes time to convince people on your policy program and your agenda. More so when you're in the opposition, because a government officer has a lot of latitude to demonstrate their ability. It is sponsored by the public. But for the private people who are in the opposition, they have to take a lot of time to explain a small thing because they don't have that platform, the public platform. So if there could be any reason that people would want to limit the campaign period, it must be strictly within the constitutional arrangement that people who are in office have got only a limited time when they should actually engage in political campaign.
All right, listen.
But kindly please allow me just because I take a bit of time because I need to explain something.
All right.
Now, for people who are in private sector and who are trying to market themselves using very limited personal resources, they should be given a chance to explain to Kenyans, and this is the only way we can really assess and know that people we are putting in office are people who meet the threshold and they have been consistent in that area. Now, in terms of voting, I want to encourage Kenyans and truly encourage them to understand. If you vote, your vote can't be stolen. But let me give a very simple illustration. Let us say you've got 100 votes. That is the total number of people have registered at the IEBC. And already 80 have voted for Dennis. There is no way Luceno can get the opportunity to utilize more than 20%.
Asante sana Luceno for that. Let's listen into other Kenyans as well. Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from? And what's your position on the status of Kenya's politics?
Asante sana.
Yes.
Mimi ni Deru.
Yes.
Napiga kutoka Nandi.
All right.
Nakumbuka hapo zamani Kenyatta akiwa anataka kuzungumza.
Yes.
Watu walikuwa wakimsikiza, watu walikuwa wanaacha hata kazi zao kutaka kujua rais anataka kusema nini. Lakini hivi sasa rais wetu amekuwa ni kama yaani kama mtu anafanya biashara. Kila mahali anatembea. Inatakiwa akae tu kwa State House. Alafu watu wamsikize anasema nini. Afanye kazi yake bila alichaguliwa. Lakini kubishana na kinarikati na wengine hiyo haifai. Na wanaonyesha picha mbaya, na wao ni viongozi ambao sisi watu wa chini tunategemea kuangalia. Asante sana.
Thank you very much there, and great insights as well that have been shared. And if we just go on our socials as well, on YouTube, and there is a lot that has been said. We start with John Muriithi. At Rais aseme mambo ya campaign bado. Yeye ashawacha kucampaign. And these are questions that Kenyans are asking, because you remember, the president has been accused of being on the campaign trail year in, year out. So when he's telling others not to campaign, many are just saying, have you looked at yourself in the mirror?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's because the presidency, in the same manner in which we are expecting that people will respect the president and the presidency, really, impunity must be very far away from the institution of the presidency. And if you look at what is called the Elections Act, Dennis, of 2011, and read together with the Election Offences Act of 2016, alongside other IEBC regulations that guide the campaigns. Campaigns are declared by IEBC.
Yes.
And this is done 60 days before the election.
The election period.
Of which there are now you expected that 48 hours before the election day, campaigns should be stopped.
Come to an end, yeah.
Yeah, but you see, what is happening right now, we are close to 16, 18 months to August 9th or 7th, 2027. And here campaigns are going on and the president is on top of his, Range Rover every single day, including as we are seated here, is in Kisii and is, campaigning and is doing all these things. So we are calling upon IEBC to speak to Kenyans, and give confidence and trust that the 2027 elections is going to be one that is going to be, accountable, transparent, and will be, done within the premise of the rule of law.
Let's take this final call. Good morning. How are you? Where are you calling us from? And what's your position on the status of Kenya's politics?
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Fine, thank you. Yes?
Yeah.
We can hear you. Please proceed. Hello, good morning. Can you hear us? We seem to be having a problem with our call, Osido. But let me just look at, just go through some of the call messages that have been sent. Mtu fulani anasema mimi nitawaroga wote, no.
Mtu fulani anasahau ya kuwa wengine hata wamewekwa ndani na tochi. Lakini kama battery ya tochi lizima.
Yeah. So John Muriithi said, yes, kwanza Kenya legacy politicians, we don't need pessimism. We have Red Fiery says that he disagrees with the caller who said that he is defeatist when it comes to voting, that the winner has already been decided. And David Wangera, voting with emotions is a very dangerous thing as opposed to voting with our heads. That including many more from Smokey MC Bandit, Obara Omondi, Eric Mue, Smokey MC Bandit, as well as Job Mario, Musemo Kweli, Eric Owor, everybody who's just participated in this, giving their views on the position of Kenya's politics. And in the poll that we had earlier, and the poll actually, who is responsible for the current political events in the country, the elected leaders, Kenyans are saying 35%, president 45%, and Kenyans 20%. Everybody has shared their responsibility in making sure that the political space in the country is clean, that which the Constitution of Kenya has mandated us to have. Your closing comments.
Each of us has a responsibility. Let's not cede this responsibility to the political class. In your own sphere of influence, wherever you are, please do something. And remember that Kenya can only be Kenya if you and I do our roles. We have rights, but we also have responsibilities.
And to everybody who's been part and parcel of this conversation, Evelyn, hats off to you. Asante sana to everybody. JB on the backside and Mutanu and all the guests that came in. Asanteni sana.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.